This is Kathy Chase. Well, I will have several things I want to discuss. You know, the tic-tac-toe thing, X's and O's. I'm not sure. I guess, you know, tic-tac-toe, the X's, you know, you have X's on railroad crossings. You have X's on, well, some fans have 4 blades. You know, ceiling fans have 4 blades. Some have five blades or whatever. They look like X's or a cross. X's look like crosses. And tic-tac-toe, my toe, and how they've used blasphemy to try to call me God or somebody else. You know, railroad crossings have X's. I don't know who's claiming to be my ex. Randy Scott Traver, did he do it? Rob Chase, you know, he's not officially my ex-husband yet. And I don't even know if I'm going to sign divorce papers because I'm not going to let his family premeditate my murder and use exploitation and feelings of other people to play psychological warfare when they obviously plan this. And I'm not even responsible for the RFID in my foot. The person who's responsible for the RFID in my foot is the one who should be in trouble. Okay? For some reason, Nick Hexum or somebody, you know, people had given me ideas that he had claimed to be an ex of mine. I don't even know him. I don't know him. I think I met him one time when I was younger, when I was in junior high, at the Village Inn with Jamie Rippey. She has a brother named Mark Rippey. They lived on Stone Cliff Circle in a brown house before they moved to Los Angeles. And I think they're back here somewhere. I don't know if Jamie's here or not. Kim used the Jamie name online when she was in the chat room under Lucy Loves Laundry. And anyways, that's where they get the whole God thing and everything is from tic-tac-toe. And the O Street, yeah, the skywalk that Richard Chase helped design with Anderson, somebody named last name Anderson, and then you have Anderson windows. You have Bristol windows. I mean, what was it? I was looking for a correlation of another windows place here in town, but there's, I guess maybe they got the color thing. You know, I thought toys because they think I'm a toy. You know, that's how they treat me, and you know how you get stained glass in churches. It's colorful, right? You know, and how they were trying to call me God, which I'm not God, and those people should be burned at the stake for trying to call me God. Really, seriously, that's horrible. That's absolutely horrible to use blasphemy, use the Lord's name in vain to make money. You know, that's why they're doing it. And about the thoughts, my personal thoughts, my personal feelings, the person who put this in my foot is responsible for violating my life and my personal thoughts and my feelings. They stole my life and maliciously made me exploited to use my feelings and thoughts against me. They think they can do that, which they can't do. They have ruined my whole life. They have ruined my life. You know, they're callous. They're evil. They are evil, beyond evil. And they put this in Autumn, too. I don't know what their next plan was with her when she got older. They obviously had some plan. I don't know. But the person who put this in my foot, and then I know somebody else, Shannon or Kim, they put more in my hand, I think. The womb thing where Richard Chase is covering up his stomach when Sean, I don't know if there's chips in my womb. I know there's a pacemaker in my body, of course, because I've felt, they've initiated it when I was at home more, when I was doing dishes or standing by the kitchen sink. And, the person who put this in my foot and then, put it in my hands was second malice. There was both. The object, this type of RFID is malicious. They're using it maliciously to play psychological warfare with other people and trying to wear people out to thus say it's okay to kill me when RFID is removable. And they've ruined my whole life for their profit, while I'm sitting here poor and suffering and scared all the time. When they exploited this fake issue that had no meaning to begin with, no real reasoning, for they knew it wasn't my fault. To come along and abuse me and harass me over things I didn't even know about, and then when I find out, it's still not my fault. Just mean, cruel, evil people. Thoughtless people. They got this whole, I guess, idea for a pacemaker from radio stations and television stations. Well, look in the local radio stations for Nebraska and Lincoln, Nebraska, and look for the local television stations for Omaha and Lincoln, and radio and television station call letters for Omaha and Lincoln. There's KETV, Channel 7 in Omaha, and then there's, as I talked about, WWT, WW, as in WOW FM. There's it was I don't know if it's 106.3 The Blaze anymore. They even got, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together, but they got the radio station 106.3. I think it's 104.1 now. I don't even pay attention when I listen to it. I listen to lots of radio stations, but 89.7 The River, and I talked about the wall thing. There's a Spanish channel, radio station, plays Spanish or Mexican music, and I think it's 79.7 or something like that, where you have the wall. Well, I was in a class, Mrs. Ween's class, in Zeman Elementary, and we used to sing La Cucaracha, La Cucaracha, running up and down the wall, that song. And, everybody saw the Broadway t-shirt from Pound Junior High. And, teachers from Pound and teachers from all the schools and Zeman and Pound and Southeast, and then people I went to school with all those years. They use these people's names. You can look up correlations and find these people's names in the phone book. There are Bushes in the Lincoln, Nebraska phone book. There's a stack of them. There's, these people are not hiding. They won't admit that they're related, but they're all over the place. And as to why, I try to get a hold of the presidents just to have a simple, direct conversation with them. But I'm not good enough to talk to, but everybody else is. Oh, Kim will go crying, or Shannon will go crying to Obama, and you can see it on his face written the next day. He'll change his color of his tie after they give him their sob story. And people are watching this, and CIA is watching this, the FBI is watching this, and I know what's going on here locally by the way people act. And then I see the president on TV the next day, and you can get you see the reaction of the dramas, the social dramas that unfolded the previous day, because these people keep getting caught at what they've done, and they don't look good, and when they don't look good, they think they have to take it out on me. The whole thing is, when people don't feel good about themselves, they will hurt people. That's why they do it. When they don't feel good about themselves, they hurt people, and they think they're doing it to cover up. They cover up what they did, but it's textbook psychology. Kim and Shannon and Rob, textbook psychology. They know they're perfect manipulators. They manipulate to the highest the degree possible. They can lie to you. They can look you straight in the eyes and lie to you like without a flinch. These people posed as my friends and my husband, and what they've done to me, they had no business being in my life, and they thought that they could come along and exploit me and punish me for what they had done to initially begin with. They ruined my life. And they thought, oh, we're gonna try to hurt other people with using her and creating this debate and trying to look for reasons to kill her. When you can't do that, that's illegal. You can't keep looking for reasons to kill someone, and you can't use gang up, looking for reasons to kill somebody in a gang setting to try to conduct murder. Okay? You can't do that. They're trying to, think that they can set a new thing up where if the majority of the gang wants somebody dead, then, well, geez, you think you're bigger than the law. No! The laws state you can't slander somebody to death. You can't make up all kinds of different reasons and spread them around, networking them to try to get somebody killed. Me, that is. And I'm worried sick about my children because, they use a movie about Deborah Winger to try to put chips in Amber's armpits. And the whole B&O Railroad on Monopoly. Railroads, X's and O's. O Street, the bridge there between 12th and 13th. They think they get to cut me up because they want to play Cinderella and I'm supposed to clean for Kim or Shannon. These people are pathetic. They don't care about other people. They are the instigators of the problems in this town and in society. I'm the nicest person, so they thought they'd walk all over me because of my foot. Do you understand? I've always been nice to people, and they thought they'd walk all over me in my life because of my foot. Adages and phrases that go along with the foot or toes, or books, or famous books, or fairy tales, nursery rhymes, whatever, and there's even X's in the quarters of the courthouse here on 555 10th Street, 555 70th Street, off 70th Street, St. Elizabeth's Hospital. Elizabeth was born on Earth Day. I don't know if Earth Day was made because of her. I don't know. She was born in 1970, so I'm not sure when Earth Day came around. If the holiday was named after her. She don't have any children. She still lives at home, and she's 40 years old. I have children to raise, and I have to there needs to be somebody who's responsible and rational and doesn't want to use my children for money profiting sicknesses of filling people's bodies with chips and then, profiting off of them. What happened to me? They wanted to repeat it. That's another thing. They wanted to repeat this whole process with my children when they knew it was a mistake to begin with, and just sickness. They wanted to spread their mental illness onto me because they didn't feel good about themselves, and they didn't feel good about themselves, so they direct their personas. If you look this up in psychology, you will understand it. People who don't feel good about themselves will take it out on other people, and they will, through me, they're hurting me, and then they're hurting other people as well. So, they don't care about other people. And I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know. They're just mean. They're animals. They just, they had all this time to get a conscience, and they've never had one. I mean, really, it was never my fault. It's they invaded my personal thoughts and my personal feelings to think that they could use those against me when that never belonged to them to begin with. And then they wanted to use it as a weapon to other people as well. And, it's very sad when you see people that are this sick, running around as a group trying to conduct like a gang murder in front of the public because they have the right social group and connections or whatever. I don't know how they have these connections, because I don't know who would want to hang out with such pathetic people. People that really just are pathetic. They had everything in life. They've had access to money and famous people. They had everything. They had access to everything in life, but they just couldn't get enough greed. They were just so greedy, so incredibly greedy, that they thought they had to keep taking and taking and taking and subtracting everything from my life. Until they got to the ultimate goal of getting me killed. And I don't think so. I don't think so at all. It's sad. It's really sad that mental illness of these people, they're trying to make me out to be the mentally ill one as a group gang effort. I'm not the person who's mentally ill. I don't hurt people. I don't set my life, I don't set, my plans of my life up to hurt other people to get what I want in life. You don't do that. And, this is like the highest level of mental illness that the nation's ever seen, but it's not mine. It's these other people. And, it's really sad. And I have to save my children from being the next, from this getting any further, So, it's sad. It's a tragedy, but it's not mine. It's not my tragedy. I didn't create this tragedy. And I'd like to have a real life and have my own life, my own personal thoughts and my feelings to myself for the first time in my adulthood, at least. This is Kathy Chase.